I feel that he was murdered unjustly. I feel like, I don't even feel like it's a black and white thing, honestly. You know, in my opinion, I really don't feel like it's a black and white thing. I feel like it's just something that he continued to do, and the police knew. You know, they knew. It wasn't like it was a shock. They knew.
The police knew. She went on to say that the police knew that he kept doing it, but that's what she said. It was something he continued to do, and the police knew, and it wasn't black and white. I mean, there's the whole media narrative shot to heck by the widow of Eric Garner. Welcome back, and joining us now is Ben Shapiro, editor-in-chief of Truth Revolt, editor-at-large of Breitbart News, and a New York Times best-selling author of The People versus Barack Obama, the criminal case against the Obama administration. Ben, welcome. That was very revealing soundbite there, wasn't it?
Well, it is revealing. I mean, the idea that Eric Garner was not committing a crime, I think, is nonsense. Now, whether you think the crime should have been a crime is another issue, but there's no question that he was a career criminal. He was a repeat criminal. He'd been arrested some 31 times, apparently. And when his wife says that this is not a black and white issue, obviously it's not a racial issue. There's still zero proof that there was any racial profiling involved in the situation. In fact, the black female police sergeant who was standing right there during the entire incident never told any of the officers to stop doing what they were doing. I mean, look, this whole incident has been blown significantly out of proportion, unfortunately, just like Michael Brown was, because it's an attempt to fit a square narrative into a round hole. And that's the problem for the left. They keep looking for their great KKK killing of black people across the country, and they're not able to find it. So they do their best to gin one up.
Right, and in your piece that I read at Breitbart.com, the actual facts of the Eric Garner case, I mean, it spells it all out. And Ben, what we're dealing with here, as with so many things, and it's really frightening. Look what's happening. I mean, now, you know, they're letting these protesters invade stores. I mean, I don't know what's next. Maybe people's homes they'll let them invade to have a die-in when they feel like it. But none of this would be possible. None of this would be happening. None of this would be an issue if it weren't for the media, a media which entertains and features the remarks and opinions of cop haters, in my opinion, like Mark Lamont Hill and Van Jones and others, and they're driving the narrative.
No question. And the fact is that the government is also driving this narrative. The Obama administration wants a narrative that America is a deeply racist place requiring federal oversight. And that's why every 2 or 3 days you'll see Al Sharpton say that, yes, America is a deeply racist place, and the only cure is federal intervention. That's why Eric Holder is now pushing guidelines on racial profiling from the federal level. But this has deep roots in the country. I mean, to pretend this is something new would be silly. But what this really is a revival of all of the old race baiting of the late 1960s that was pushed in cities, not in the South, but in cities like New York and Detroit and Los Angeles, and the creation of riots in these places that was designed to push for more funding of these cities. I mean, this is what destroyed New York City in the 1960s and 70s. This is what destroyed Detroit in the 60s and 70s. This is what destroyed Washington, D.C. And now we're trying to federalize it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. One other thing, we don't know the grand jury evidence. We know how many exhibits they saw. We know how many witnesses they heard from. But, you know, to hear his wife go on to say that he was lazy, the only thing he could do, he would say to her, is sell those cigarettes. He had asthma. He tried to do other things, but his asthma held him back. He was very overweight, she said. I would imagine that they heard from medical doctors saying that his health played a big part in the reason that he died.
Of course. And if you watch that video, the one thing that is absolutely clear from that video is that the police officers did not have intent to kill Eric Garner. There's no question. I mean, if you watch that video and what you come away with is, yeah, they definitely wanted to kill this guy, then I'm not sure what video you're watching. And intent was a key component in any of the charges they were seeking to bring against those officers. Right. So whether they should have been indicted or not, there's no way they should have been convicted by any jury on any crime that required intent. If you want to argue excessive police force, there's at least an open argument as to that, although I think that, you know, if you look at police takedown procedure, this is pretty close to a lot of the takedowns that police use on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah, I've had one officer tell me he's used that hundreds of times. Quickly, we have a minute. You've been very forthright, very open, very honest, and I applaud you for that in your opinions about the Obama administration and Obama himself with regard to Israel and Jews. Now we find out, and the State Department would not even touch it the other day, that they might slap Israel with sanctions. At the same time, they're loosening and taking away sanctions on the countries sworn to destroy Israel.
That's right. Build a nuclear weapon and attempt to murder 6 million Jews, and we will loosen sanctions on you. Build a bathroom in Jerusalem, and we'll slap sanctions on you if you're a Jew. You tell me if this administration is fond of Jews.
Yeah, it's really frightening. Again, Ben, always good to talk to you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Ben Shapiro, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and we have a gimme coming up tomorrow. A State Department interaction. Jen Psaki would not go near. No, it wasn't Jen Psaki. It was the White House press spokesman. Wouldn't go near the question of sanctions against Israel. Anyway, we'll talk more about that as the show goes on. Up next, Emmy Award-winning journalist and former CBS News correspondent Sharyl Attkisson is here. Don't miss it. We're coming up next.